Most people think vending machine businesses make money the moment someone buys a bag of chips. A customer walks up to the machine, they tap their card, a snack drops into the tray. The owner pockets the difference. Simple. At least that's what it looks like. But that's not how this business actually works, because the real asset isn't the vending machine, it isn't the soda, it isn't even the candy. It's the location, and more importantly, the legal right to sell convenience exactly where people are most willing to pay for it. Think about it. You can buy a bottle of water at a supermarket for $1. The exact same bottle inside an airport might cost $4. Nothing changed about the water. The label is the same. The manufacturer is the same. The bottle is the same. The only thing that changed is where you're buying it. And that difference is what the vending machine business is built on. Every successful operator understands one simple truth. They're not selling snacks. They're selling convenience. They're selling time. They're selling access. And customers are often willing to pay a premium for all three. Today, we're going to uncover the economics of owning a vending machine business. We'll break down where every dollar comes from, where it goes, why some machines barely make enough to cover their electricity bill, while others generate thousands of dollars every month. Because despite what social media might tell you, vending machines are not a magical passive income machine. They're a logistics business disguised as a snack business. And once you understand that, you'll never look at one the same way again. To understand how vending machine owners make money, we first have to answer a simple question. Why do people buy from vending machines in the first place? After all, almost everything inside a vending machine can be bought somewhere else for less. A supermarket is cheaper. A convenience store usually has more options. So why would anyone willingly pay double, or sometimes even triple, the price? The answer is surprisingly simple. Convenience has value. Imagine you're at an airport waiting to board a flight. Your gate is on the other side of the terminal. Boarding starts in 10 minutes. You're thirsty. At that moment, walking across the airport to find the cheapest bottle of water isn't worth saving $2. The vending machine wins because it's exactly where you need it. The same thing happens in hospitals, office buildings, factories, universities, hotels, apartment complexes, train stations, and shopping malls. People aren't comparing prices. They're solving an immediate problem. They're hungry. They're thirsty. They forgot their phone charger. They need medicine. They're willing to pay more because the alternative costs them something even more valuable: time. That's why location is everything in this business. A vending machine sitting inside a quiet office with 20 employees might struggle to make $20 in sales on a good day. Move that exact same machine into a busy hospital where thousands of people pass every day, and the numbers can change dramatically. The machine didn't become smarter. The snacks didn't become better. The owner didn't suddenly improve. The location changed. And in the vending machine business, location changes everything. In fact, experienced operators often say they're not in the vending machine business at all. They're in the location business. The vending machine is simply the tool that turns foot traffic into revenue. That's why securing a profitable location is often harder than buying the machine itself. Anyone with enough money can purchase a vending machine, but not everyone can convince a hospital, airport, factory, school, or office building to let them place one on their property. Those locations are valuable because they already have what every vending operator wants: people. Lots of people. Every person walking past that machine is a potential customer. Most won't buy. Some will. The more people who pass by, the more opportunities the machine has to make a sale. That's why two vending machines that cost exactly the same can produce completely different financial results. One might barely earn enough to stay in business. The other could become one of the owner's most profitable assets. And here's where most people get it wrong. They think owning more machines automatically means making more money. But that's not necessarily true. 10 machines in terrible locations can earn less than 2 machines in exceptional locations. The machine isn't the investment. The location is. And once an operator secures a great location, the next challenge begins. Because making sales is only the first step. The real question is this: when someone spends $3 on a drink, how much of that money does the owner actually get to keep? The answer is a lot more complicated than most people realize. When someone taps their card and buys a bottle of soda for $3, it might look like the vending machine owner just made $3. But they didn't. Not even close. That $3 immediately starts getting divided. Some of it paid for the soda itself. Some goes to the company that processes the card payment. Some may go to the property owner as commission. Some has to cover fuel, maintenance, insurance, taxes, and eventually replacing the machine. Only what's left becomes profit. And that's why experienced operators don't ask one question: how much did this machine sell today? They ask a completely different question: how much did this machine actually earn? Those are two very different numbers. Let's start with the biggest expense of all: inventory. Every product inside a vending machine has to be purchased before it's ever sold. A bag of chips, a candy bar, a bottle of water, an energy drink. Every item represents money the owner has already spent. The goal is simple: buy low, sell high. Imagine an operator purchases a case of 24 bottled waters from a wholesale supplier for $12. That means each bottle costs about 50 cents. If each bottle sells for $2, the revenue isn't just covering the cost of the water, it's also paying for everything else the business needs to survive. Now multiply that by hundreds of bottles every week across dozens of machines. Small margins on individual products can become significant over time, but not every product is equally profitable. This is where successful operators think differently. Most people assume every snack earns about the same amount. It doesn't. Some products have much higher profit margins than others. A premium energy drink might generate more profit per sale than a regular soda. Bottled water often has an excellent markup because it's inexpensive to buy in bulk. Certain candies and chips sell quickly and rarely go to waste. Others sit on the shelf for months until they expire. And expired products don't just reduce profits, they erase them. That's why experienced operators constantly study sales data. If a product isn't selling, they replace it. The goal isn't to stock what the owner likes, it's to stock what customers actually buy. In many ways, every vending machine is a tiny retail store, except it has one major advantage: it never calls in sick, it never takes lunch breaks, it doesn't need a cashier standing beside it all day. That significantly reduces labor costs compared to a traditional convenience store. But lower labor costs don't mean zero work. Someone still has to visit every machine, restock products, collect cash where necessary, clean the machine, fix problems, remove expired inventory, and make sure everything is working properly. For operators with just a few machines, that's manageable. But as the business grows, something interesting happens. Driving becomes one of the biggest hidden costs. Imagine spending an hour driving across the city just to refill a machine that sold only a handful of drinks. The fuel costs money. The vehicle loses value. Time is wasted. That machine might be making sales, but it isn't making much profit. Successful operators solve this by building efficient routes. Instead of placing machines randomly across an entire city, they cluster them together. One trip can service 5, 10, or even 20 nearby machines. The fewer miles driven per machine, the lower the operating costs. It's a small improvement that can dramatically increase overall profitability. Then there's another expense many people never think about: the location itself. You might assume businesses are happy to let vending machines sit on their property for free. Sometimes that's true, but often it's not. A busy office building, hospital, factory, or school knows its foot traffic has value. Instead of charging monthly rent, many negotiate a commission based on sales. That means every time someone buys a snack, the property owner earns a percentage too. It might be 10%, it might be 20%, sometimes even more. At first, giving away part of your revenue sounds like a bad deal, but if that location generates hundreds of sales every week, it's often worth it. A smaller share of a busy location can be far more profitable than keeping 100% of the revenue from a machine that hardly anyone uses. That's another lesson in this business. The best location isn't always the cheapest. It's the one that leaves you with the most profit after every expense is paid. And thanks to technology, today's operators have another advantage that didn't exist years ago. Modern vending machines can tell owners exactly what's happening without anyone opening the door. They can report inventory levels, show which products are selling fastest, alert the owner if the machine stops working, even notify them when cash is running low or temperatures change. Instead of driving around hoping machines need restocking, operators know exactly where to go and when. That saves fuel, it saves time, And most importantly, it saves money. Because in the vending machine business, the companies that make the most money aren't always the ones making the most sales. They're the ones running the most efficient operation. And once an operator understands how to maximize each machine, the next challenge becomes even more exciting. How do you grow from one profitable machine to an entire network generating thousands of dollars every month? For many people, owning one profitable vending machine is the goal. For successful operators, it's only the beginning, because one machine can only generate so much revenue. The real money comes from building a network. Imagine a single vending machine generates an average of $300 a week in sales. That sounds impressive. But remember, sales aren't profit. After paying for inventory, payment processing fees, fuel, commissions, repairs, insurance, taxes, and every other operating expense, the owner keeps only a portion of that revenue. Now imagine owning 50 well-performing machines. The owner isn't just selling more snacks. They're spreading fixed costs across a much larger business. The same delivery van now services dozens of machines. The same inventory order earns bigger wholesale discounts. The same software manages every location. As the business grows, each additional machine often becomes more efficient to operate than the last. This is known as economies of scale. It's one of the biggest reasons large vending companies can outperform smaller operators. Buying inventory in bulk lowers the cost of every product. Planning efficient delivery routes reduces fuel expenses. Technology cuts unnecessary service visits. Every small improvement increases the amount of profit left over from each sale. But scaling isn't as simple as buying more machines. The biggest challenge is finding locations worth placing them in. A machine in the wrong location can become an expensive piece of furniture. It still consumes electricity. It still needs maintenance. It still has to be restocked. But without enough customers, those costs quickly eat away at any revenue it generates. That's why experienced operators spend as much time negotiating locations as they do buying equipment. A great location can remain profitable for years. A poor location might never recover its investment. And then there are the risks. Products expire, machines break down, cashless payment systems occasionally fail. Prices from suppliers increase. Fuel becomes more expensive. Competition appears. A company that once allowed your machine may decide to replace it with another operator offering a better deal. Consumer preferences also change. A machine filled with sugary drinks might have performed well 10 years ago. Today, customers in many workplaces expect healthier options, protein bars, sparkling water, or fresh food. Operators who fail to adapt often watch their sales slowly decline. The most successful businesses aren't simply the ones with the most machines. They're the ones that constantly adjust. They study sales data. They replace slow-moving products. They negotiate better supplier prices. They improve delivery routes. They treat every machine like its own small business. And that's the biggest lesson the vending machine industry teaches. Success isn't created when someone buys a machine. It's created through thousands of small decisions made after the machine is installed. So, is owning a vending machine business a good investment? It can be. Compared to many traditional businesses, the startup costs are relatively low. The business can be expanded gradually. Modern technology has made managing machines easier than ever, and demand for convenient, self-service retail continues to grow in many locations. But it isn't passive income. It's an operations business. It's a logistics business. It's a retail business. And above all, it's a location business. The owners who succeed understand that they're not just filling machines with snacks. They're solving a problem. They're giving busy people quick access to products exactly when and where they're needed. That's why two identical vending machines can produce completely different results. One becomes a profitable asset. The other becomes an expensive mistake. The difference isn't the machine. It isn't the snacks. It isn't even the owner. It's the economics behind every decision, from choosing the right location and stocking the right products to controlling costs and operating efficiently. The next time you walk past a vending machine, you'll probably see it differently. It isn't just a box full of snacks. It's a carefully designed business, turning convenience into revenue one purchase at a time. And that's the economics of owning a vending machine business.